Hey everybody, welcome back to my Dark Souls Filthy Casual run. My name is Rob, and we are drawing this playthrough to a close. Having finished Ulasil and done almost every area of the game, all we have left is to defeat the four lords and link the fire, as they say.
I am pleased to see you well. Is it something urgent?
Just out of curiosity, I'm going to see if old King Secret Frampt has anything new to say to us.
The beings who possess these souls have outlived their usefulness, as
That's what he was saying last time.
farewell, chosen undead. I remain here and await thee.
Alrighty. So, off camera, I decided to go ahead and pump some more points into strength to where I could one-hand the Obsidian Greatsword and buff it with Sunlight Blade, which I'm looking forward to using against these next few bosses. So without further ado, let's approach the Duke's Archives and take on Seath the Scaleless. I'm not sure how many episodes this is actually going to make, but think of this next few parts of the playthrough as like kind of a boss rush. Even though in this episode there's one last little area I wanted to explore, or really it's going to be necessary for me to explore it. But we rush through these woods outside of the Duke's Archives. There's nothing really much to see here. Stone crystal golems, if you need to farm them for blue titanite chunks, there you go. Make our way down into the crystal cave. Immediately, it's a crystal golem that charges towards you. You can just run right past him. Now when you get to here, there's a couple of different ways you can go. You can go down this way, which is the linear path, or you go down this way, which is a little bit of a shortcut and a path up to some humanity. Drop down here. See a moonlight butterfly, actually multiple ones. We're just going to leave them alone. No reason to fight them. They're not hostile. And challenging them down here is just kind of a effort and futility. At least in my opinion it is. There is a non-respawning golden golem. And, well, that happened. As I was saying, a golden golem that you can just bypass like that if you don't foolishly fall off of the platform like I did. Come down here to this little area. There's some crystal lizards. I think 3 of them. If you miss one, you can just quit out of the game and get them to respawn. Looks like old Goldie Boy has followed me down here, so might as well cheese him. Go on now, get away. Yeah. One more hit should do it. There we go. Well, if I die again, I won't have to worry about him. So anyway, what I'm going to show you now, you gotta look closely at your surroundings to see where exactly these little crystal snowflake things are falling from. And you have to kind of pay attention to where you actually see them disintegrate. Like if they keep falling further down, obviously that's not a place you can walk. So, easiest way to actually do this is to take your time and go slow using prism stones to make yourself a trail. Well, I meant to do this. Looks like I can just head straight to this message left behind by somebody, but all the same, this is not a linear path to the blue titanite slab, as you can see. So, there we go. There's a curve. There's actually a couple of curves up this way, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Alright, let's see. There we go. I'm probably teetering a lot more dangerously close to the edge than I realize. Here. The blue slab is right there on that crystal that's jutting out of the wall, pointing straight at us. I just have to get to the point where I can walk straight towards it. There we go. This should be it. Nope. Can't be too careful. And after throwing down a prism stone, it doesn't go anywhere. You don't have to worry about them fading or disappearing or anything like that. Thankfully. Should be home free, but yeah, I'm just gonna play it super safe. There we go. And there you have it, a blue titanite slab. If you wanted or needed it. Now we just gotta follow our trail back up this invisible platform. I don't want to run too quickly through here though, because yeah, it's easy to overshoot and fall off and die. Alrighty. Yep, lots of bloodstains from people trying to do that. Imminent fall. Yeah, there's another golden golem down there. You choose to fight him is up to you. I'm just going to leave well enough alone. And this pathway is a bit more linear. I actually feel comfortable enough to just kind of bolt across here. There we are. Another moonlight butterfly to the left. We can just leave him alone. And we're getting closer and closer to the boss arena, but first we got to deal with some clams. Or oysters or something. I don't know. I could go for some oysters Rockefeller. That actually sounds delicious. Yeah, we've encountered these guys down in Ash Lake. Somehow or another that follow-up swing missed him. Hitboxes can be weird in Dark Souls. Best enemies in the game to farm Twinkling Titanite off of. They have a fairly good drop rate of it, especially at max item discovery. A lot easier to come by them. See, I don't even have max item discovery. I just got some Twinkling Titanite, but it's a lot easier than farming for souls to buy them from the giant blacksmith. Yeah, any item you've got that deals decent poison damage works good against these guys. You don't want to take on a whole lot of them at once. Ideally, you only want to pick off one at a time, because they will do that. I might be stun locked and dead. Yep. I was. Alright, I'm back to it. Let's try that again. If you're having trouble getting one at a time to approach you, well, use a bow. You can aggro them towards you by launching an arrow in their direction. Jeez Louise. I hate these things, I really do. I'm gonna try to just stun lock them. There we go. Yeah, that's it. You know what? I'm actually going to follow my own advice here. And just kite one at a time. Here we go. I say kite one at a time, I mean aggro one at a time. That one's got his back turned to us. It's hard to tell what senses they actually use to sense that you're there. So on one hand, it seems like they can see you, even though they don't have eyes. It doesn't really seem like they can hear you. So I don't know. You would think it would be like they can feel your movement or something. The vibrations of the earth that you're walking on. Alright, that one actually has aggroed from a distance. I could rush past all of them and go into the boss room, but if you'll notice, that opening there, that's going to be the boss arena. There's no boss fog in front of it. Which means if I run in there, they can run right in there with me, and then I'll be fighting both the boss and all these clam, oyster, seashell things. Oysters Rockefeller. Man. Oh yeah, they also drop purging stones, so it's kind of nice. Pointed out before, all these like pearl looking things on the inside of them look like skull heads, and the purging stones are actually comprised of a skull head. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting, I guess. What was that thought I was about to say? If you go to the beach, eating oysters is mandatory, at least in a like Gulf Shores or something. Beaches in the south anyway. There's nothing like some fresh seafood, fresh oysters and all that. Well, that's enough about that. We have found the source of Seath the Scaleless's immortality. And he's in panic mode right now. What are you doing in my crystal cave? Get away from my crystal. It's mine. I stole it fair and square. That's how I imagine Seath the Scaleless talking. So if you're under the crystal, obviously, I mean, yeah, you can smash it yourself if you want to, but just to point out, Seath is so crazy that he'll destroy it all by himself just by breathing on it. He's also blind, so that doesn't help. I'm going to attempt to get his tail cut, which is one of the most difficult ones to get in my opinion. Ah! Got it cut right at the tip. There we go. I got lucky there. Usually he starts to spaz out. So we got the Moonlight Greatsword, and I've just buffed with Sunlight Blade on my Obsidian Greatsword. He's just spraying Godzilla lasers everywhere, and he's about to explode. You want to try to stay away from that, it's very damaging. Ah! And it curses you. Something you definitely want in this fight is curse resistance. And high damage, whatever high damage you've got. Be it pyromancy, lightning damage, whatever you have available to you. That's what you want to get. We get a lot of souls for killing old Seath. We get his Lord Soul, as well as a bonfire. And from this bonfire, if you want to farm for Twinkling Titanite, you can keep respawning those clam oyster things and just killing them over and over and upgrade all your twinkling weapons and armor that you want to use. So, Soul of the Albino Seath the Scaleless, a fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Seath allied with Lord Gwyn and turned upon the dragons, and for this he was awarded dukedom, embraced by the royalty, and given a fragment of a great soul. Although just a piece, it will still satiate the Lord Vessel. And that sword we got is one of the best in the game if you are an intelligence build. The Moonlight Great Sword with an A scaling and intelligence, 16 strength, 10 dex, 28 intelligence requirement with pure magic damage. This sword, one of the rare dragon weapons, came from the tale of Seath the Scaleless, the pale white dragon who betrayed his own. Seath is the grandfather of sorcery, and this sword is imbued with his magic, which shall be unleashed as a wave of moonlight. Yet has these special R2s that shoot laser beams. It's definitely one of the coolest looking swords in the game. I don't have the stats for it or anything, but yeah. And the two-handed R2 shoots a laser beam that'll explode on impact. Pretty awesome, huh? Yeah, I was definitely really overpowered for that fight. But hey, that's just going through the Ulasil first, and then attacking the rest of the bosses of the game. So I've been debating whether I wanted to raise strength enough to one-hand the Zweihander or not. I don't know. For now, I'm going to put the point into endurance, because I want to get my endurance up to 40. And from here, which lord shall I challenge next? I think I might as well get the Witch of Izalith out of the way. The Bed of Chaos. Where is it at? Daughter of Chaos. There we go. Alrighty, and here we are at the boss fog of the Witch of Izalith. And for the record, I hate this boss so much. But we'll get through it. It's a puzzle boss that you literally only have to hit 3 times, but in very, very specific spots. So for starters, we're going to run over here around the side. What helps in this fight? A shield with very high stability and a bow. To break through all these limbs, you have to hit those weak points. You can either hit them or roll into them or whatever. It literally doesn't take anything. Now that part looked easy enough, but every time you destroy one of those weaknesses, the boss actually gets stronger. Boss is called the Bed of Chaos, but we don't know what part, or at least I don't know what part is actually the Witch of Izalith. I think it's the tree part. So, the way I'm cheesing this boss, I quit out, which is going to spawn me outside of the boss fog, where I don't have to walk back around the boss again. But it saves your progress from damaging each individual part, so once I go back down, I can head straight for the left. Yeah, this is like the old way to cheese the boss. Nowadays, people use these speedrunner strats where they like throw fire bombs and stuff, but I've never even practiced that, so I'm not going to use this playthrough as an introduction to doing that. I would probably suck at it, so just hug this wall to your left. You want to get as close as you can. Right here. Pull out a bow. Any kind of arrows you choose, any kind of bow. I don't think it even matters if you have the correct stats for the bow. I just happen to have Ferris's black bow equipped, which is ideal because it has the best range of all the bows. And you have to hit that spire or whatever. There we go. After a few hits, nailed it. Oh, what else can help in this fight? Maybe, fast rolling definitely helps. Because you want mobility. If you're fast rolling and you have the weight for it, the Darkwood Grain Ring could actually help, so I might actually equip that. I'm using Havel's Ring to fast roll right now, though, so I'd have to drop a little bit of weight. Maybe if I do that and switch to... what's my lightest weapon? Yeah, that'll work. Any weapon will work, it doesn't matter. Even your bare hands will work. No, still not happening. Oh, no wonder I'm using black iron gauntlets. I'll just take those off. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. A high stability shield helps a lot too. And as a matter of fact, I've only been upgrading the grass crest shield this whole playthrough. Oh well, that's fine. It'll work. Sliding on down here. This is usually the part in the boss fight where I die and have to go all the way back to the bonfire, so we'll see how I do. And immediately the boss casts pyromancy. Alright, he's gonna start doing that. What you want to do is get close enough. You need to bait attacks out of the Witch of Izalith and get close enough to get that floor to crumble. And then run straight for it. Am I gonna make it? Oh, look at there, I did it. Awesome. Woo! Oh crap. You're not safe though, because he can still cast pyromancies at you. Keep moving, keep rolling, do whatever it takes. There's the boss. One hit. It's dead. That was the bed of chaos. It was a bug. And we get a Lord Soul for our efforts. Gonna light up this bonfire. Ugh. My least favorite of the 4 Lord bosses, and it's out of the way, thank goodness. Soul of the Bed of Chaos, and the mother of all demons. This Lord Soul was found at the dawn of the Age of Fire. The Witch of Izalith attempted to duplicate the first flame from a soul, but instead created a distorted being of chaos and fire. Its power formed a bed of life, which would become the source of all demons, and is more than enough to satiate the Lord Vessel. Interesting lore behind that. Alrighty, and from here... almost forgot that in killing the Bed of Chaos, we fulfilled a promise.
Outstanding. You have done very well. Thank you. I am blessed to have met you. I suppose I can call you fool no longer. I can hardly thank you enough. Please take this. It is all of me.
Alternatively, if you decide to kill Quelana, she will drop that pyromancy. But I wanted to show doing the whole quest. Otherwise, you get Great Fireball. That's a useful one. Go ahead and get Combustion. Yeah, that's good enough.
Thank you. I am blessed to have met you. I suppose I can call you fool no longer. Now go. Don't you dare let yourself go hollow, lest my time spent on you be wasted.
I want to say after this, maybe it's after you buy all of her pyromancies, she will disappear. Alrighty. So, now that we've gotten that diversion out of the way, back to the Tomb of the Giants. Of course, old Patches is still here.
I did you wrong. These...
Once we defeat the boss of this area, he'll go on back to... whatchamacallit. He'll go back to Firelink Shrine. I want to try and get rid of this skeleton real quick. So I think he's the only mandatory one for me to kill. I think the rest of them I can pretty much skip. Alrighty. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Dadgummit. Alright, let's try that again. But let's fail. There we go. Thank you. Just gonna skip that. foolishness altogether. Drop down here. And here we are, home free. Just gonna skip these guys here. I've really nothing to gain by fighting them. Gonna try my best to just skip on past all these pinwheel clones, so I don't have anything to gain by fighting them either. And through the boss fog, here we are. Alrighty, now, first thing you want to do is cast fall control. It's one of those boss fights. The Grim Reaper of Dark Souls himself, Gravelord Nito. The reason I approach this boss fight with a divine weapon, or the Silver Knight Spear, because we're back to respawning skeletons. Now you don't want to rush in after Gravelord Nito, you want him to come to you. Actually, I don't think he's especially weak to divine damage. So I'm just gonna, now that I've killed some of the skeletons, I'm just gonna switch on over to the Chaos Zweihander and let him have it. If I can hit him. Oh, when he crouches like that, he's about to do this AoE attack. I didn't think I could really avoid it there without running away to the back and aggroing more skeletons, so I chose to just heal and take the brunt of the damage. It's actually not a terrible idea to go full Havels and just voice through all of his attacks. I mean, you can run away from all that. Uh-oh. When he screams, yeah, he plunges his giant Gravelord sword into the ground and... man, he is using this AoE attack a lot. It's making me waste a lot of Estus. I dodged way too early on that. You can dodge that attack, but I'm not playing that well right now. Ah, really? Yeah, you can't really dodge that. You kind of just have to... Ugh, I can see giant skeletons back there. You kind of just have to get out of the way of that AoE attack. But he's dead. Basically, the only thing I would recommend doing differently than I did just there as a beginner player, just put on full Havels, full Giants, full Guardian, whatever high poise, high defense armor set you've got. Put it all on, poise through his attacks, and just mash R1 until you win. Divine Weapons or the Silver Knight Spear helps, but isn't mandatory. And if you killed the Invader Paladin Leroy, get his armor set. Alrighty. 3 lords down, 1 to go. Doing pretty good for time, considering what all I'm trying to accomplish here, so I'm just going to keep on going. Now keep in mind, it is mandatory to have killed Sith in order to fight this boss, because you must have the Covenant of Artorias. Having drained New Londo, I can just jump down right there. Dark Wraith we got to deal with. The rest of them, I'm going to do Hidden Body and just haul butt. just gonna run past the ghosts, run past the dark wraiths. And go into the boss fog, which thankfully does not launch us directly into the boss fight. Run down here to keep anything from coming up close to the fog there and trying to hit you through it. Dark wraiths and ghosts will do that. If you come down far enough, nothing will really aggro on you, and you got time to mess around with your equipment a little bit. So, I'm going to equip the Covenant of Artorias, and since I'm mid-rolling anyway, I'm going to put on some higher poise gear. Gonna do Havel's gauntlets and Havel's leggings for 56 poise. Yeah, sure. Do Mask of the Father. Like pimping out the noobiest of noob builds right now. But it's effective. Ah, fat rolling. Let's see. Strike Guardian armor. Nope, still fat rolling. Paladin armor maybe? Hey, that's 76 poise. That's not bad at all. Mid rolling with that? Yeah, we can definitely roll with that. Okay. So with the Covenant of Artorias equipped, everything else I'm going to go into this battle with, let's do it. This is a damage per second race. You want to be dealing as much damage as quickly as possible, because you don't want to fight all 4 kings at once. This attack will suck a humanity from your soft humanity counter, as well as deal damage. So chaos weapons are not necessarily advised if you're just going to tank the boss, which I've opted to do. You can keep striking at them, and you'll still do damage to them as they're fading away. Gonna tank that magic hit because that's a homing missile type of spell. They'll just chase you around until it hits you anyway, so I usually just like to hold my shield up and tank it. Already dead. We might only be fighting 3 kings in this boss fight. They all have a separate health bar and yet share the same health bar, so it's possible if you're dealing too little damage to end up facing 5 kings, because eventually they'll respawn. But it's also possible to only face like 3 kings, or if you're really tweaked out and doing a massive amount of damage, you can keep it down to 2 even. And just like that, we've won. And we get the bequeathed Lord Soul Shard. So let's read some of what I've gotten so far. I didn't read the Lord Soul of Nito. Let's do that. Soul of Grave Lord Nito, first of the dead. This Lord Soul was discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Grave Lord Nito administers the death of all manner of beings. Like I said, he's the Grim Reaper of Dark Souls, pretty much. The power of this soul is so great that it satiates the Lord Vessel despite the fact that much of its energy has already been offered to death. And the bequeathed Lord Soul Shard. Soul of one of the 4 kings who fell to dark. A fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Lord Gwyn recognized the foresight of these 4 great leaders of New Londo and granted them their ranks and the fragments of a great soul. Although this is not a full Lord Soul, it can still satiate the Lord Vessel. And of course, the armor set of Paladin Leroy. Leroy Jenkins. Maybe. Armor of Leroy, Paladin of the Catacombs. Long ago, the Way of White produced its first undead, a paladin in golden armor. With the legendary treasures Grant and Sanctus, Leroy set out for Lorgen, land of the gods, in the first undead mission of the Way of White. But did he succeed? Doesn't really seem like it. Alrighty. Once you've defeated the four kings, you can safely take off the Covenant of Artorias, because the Abyss no longer poses a threat to you. Comfort ahead. Indeed. Let's warp on back to Firelink Shrine. Use these souls I have to level up my endurance to 40, which is the soft cap for endurance. Let me see here. Switch around my stuff to be whatever. Yeah, that'll work for now as a placeholder. Are you really sleeping on the job again?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Well and wide awake. Do not treat me like an old withering snake.
Stupid idiot.
I am pleased. Is it? Very well. Then stay still for a moment.
Ugh. This again? Yuck. What a creepy serpent you are.
I am pleased. Is it some? The beings who possess that.
Doesn't say anything new yet. Just for looks, you know. And we're going to offer souls to the Lord Vessel. Alrighty, and we have opened the gate to the final area of the game.
Oh,
Easy there,
the
Frampt.
Lord Vessel is satiated, magnificent. You are the righteous successor to Gwyn, the new great lord, and I am Kingseeker no more. Your acquaintance was an honor. I must admit, I am fond of you humans. May you enjoy serendipity, and may the Age of Fire perpetuate.
So to hear it from Kingseeker Frampt, it's like we're going to become the new Great Lord and everything's just going to be all peachy and hunky-dory.
I am, is it? The beings who possess as
Really? He doesn't have any other dialogue? I'm kind of surprised at that.
farewell. chosen undead. I remain here and await thee.
Well, that'll wrap it up for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon with the conclusion to Dark Souls Remastered. And until then, y'all take care.